Hey guys, welcome back to our final regular season edition of the three-man weave. IU gets their 11th Big Ten win of the season. They have now won 7 of 8, defeating Purdue tonight 85-74, and probably one of the best, I think, halves of basketball we've seen IU play from an offensive standpoint in the first half. 49 points, balanced scoring all around. I want to say like 7 or 8 guys had at least 6 points in the first half. Matt Roth, Verdell Jones coming off the bench on senior night. Had 7 and 9 points apiece, and it really was just a balanced night all around for IU. And Purdue made a couple runs in the second half, cut it to 6 once, but Robbie Hummel was fouled 3 times in over a minute. I think he lost track of how many fouls he had.
Yeah,
and that ended up being his 5th foul when they cut it down to 77-71, and they just couldn't make another push the rest of the way. So that was kind of the storyline. How good of an offensive, night was it for IU, Connor? I thought just the balance was the huge thing.
Yeah, if you look at the stat sheet, not a single IU player had double-digit field goal attempts, which really goes to show how well this team was moving the ball tonight and how good of looks they were getting. To be able to put up that many points and not necessarily rely on the 3 ball in the second half, maybe the way that they did in the first half, really goes to show how mature this team has developed. And we've really seen this team play different breeds of basketball and win different styles, not necessarily the same way, and they even really developed throughout the game in this one. And, IU was able to get those threes to fall early, and that obviously fueled a 49-point offensive attack. But, at the end of the game, you got to make your free throws. And if IU's not making free throws in that, down the stretch there, they made 10 free throws in the last minute 47. If they're not making those free throws, this game gets a whole lot scarier for IU fans that wanted nothing more than to see these seniors go out with a win against Purdue.
Yeah, credit Purdue. They hung in there. They were tough, but really they just don't have enough weapons. And I can't imagine that Matt Painter's very happy with his defensive effort tonight. I believe the 85 points is the second most they've given up in regulation this year. They gave up like 90 to Iona in the double overtime game earlier in the year. So if you'd have told him at the start of the night you're going to score 74 points for a team that struggles scoring the ball, he probably would have taken it. But IU on offense is great. Avi, just momentum going into March. This team, like Verdell Jones said after the game, we aren't used to playing Thursday night of the Big Ten tournament. And there's a very good chance that they will be playing much farther than Thursday night. 7 of 8, they are clicking on all cylinders at the right time.
Yeah, they really are. And Tom Crean will never admit it. I don't think I think he's more inclined to give credit to his team in the short term. You're just looking at,
he doesn't
the
like
game.
Real big
but
picture.
if you zoom out to any more than, I would say, a 3-day span, granted there's not another game within that 3-day span, then it's just totally out of his comfort range. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about momentum or, anything like that. But it is important. And like you said, this team, between the first half they had, against, I would say more the first half they had against Michigan State, and that kind of evolved into a full game. And then the one they had tonight, you're looking at a very dangerous team going to March, or we're in March actually now.
Right.
That's going into
Deep
March.
into March.
Yeah, deep into March. And I'm really curious now with the Big Ten tournament how they're going to react to that, because the stage is now, or excuse me, the bracket's now already set. They're going to play Penn State in the first round, and then the winner of those two, correct me if I'm wrong, plays the 1 seed.
No, it plays the 4.
Oh, right. It's the one. Okay.
Wisconsin is who they will play in the second round, so a chance for revenge, and that has to be a great matchup, I think, for IU. I'm with you, Avi. I guess now looking at that.
Sorry, I kind
Big
of
Ten
pressed
tournament.
fast forward a little.
No, I think it's something that definitely needs to be looked at, because Penn State in the first round is Penn State. They really have no firepower besides Tim Frazier. They do play hard.
Don't get injured.
But it's going to be like a 90% probably cream and crimson output at Bankers Live. So I expect IU to win that first. Guys, let's talk about the tournament. How far can this team go up there in Indy? It is their home away from home. We saw them play, a solid game, I would say, earlier in the year, beating Notre Dame, I think, by about 12. So I think IU's definitely going to have that home court advantage. And if they make a run to Saturday or even to Sunday, they could, I think, move up all the way to a 3. If they won a tournament, maybe even a 2, because you're going to get so many more quality wins away from home.
Yeah, I really do think that's a big thing. And right now, IU is kind of a sexy pick to win the Big Ten tournament. If you look at the fact that IU has beaten the 3 teams that have a share for the Big Ten championship,
Everybody in the Big Ten, but Wisconsin and Nebraska.
Exactly. So if you look at the wins that IU has racked up, yes, people are going to look at the matchups and they're going to say IU can beat this team, and you know what? There's not too many teams in this field that can say that. But at the same time, there are some very good teams to top this conference, and IU, for as well as they're playing right now, 7 of their last 8. At the same time, they might run into an Ohio State team that's got something to prove. They showed it today when they came back into Michigan State. They might run into a Wisconsin team that just slows them down, and they can't really work through the murk of that defense. So anything can happen in the Big Ten tournament. We saw it last year when Penn State went to the championship as a 6th seed. So just to expect out of this team, but if this recent stretch is any indication, they can be in this conference right now.
And the draw is favorable. Brandon Dawson tore his ACL today for Michigan State. That's who IU would play in the semifinals. So Michigan State, a team with just not a ton of depth, I would say. That's definitely a big loss because he can be a matchup problem with how athletic he is. Avi, do you think, should we talk Big Ten tournament or you want to talk senior night? I guess last year.
Well, we'll go back a little. We'll retract a little. And one of the things I just kind of wanted to look at is just the regular season as a whole. It's kind of weird because, IU has been in these positions in years past where it goes senior night, Hoosier hysteria. And that's at least been my mindset, where it's been like, okay, now we're just looking at next year. But the season's not over yet. And I think it's going to take a lot for people to kind of look back and say, wow, this was a really special regular season. Granted, the entirety of it as a whole is not done, which is good news. But right now you're looking at a team that lost once in Assembly Hall this year. All right, and along the way, just a lot of different upset victories. And when we stop and look at the whole body of work, this regular season, especially the home season, is going to be something special. And it's because it wasn't expected. I think that's a big reason. Next year, you will have the successes, and it will meet, maybe exceed expectations. But this kind of just came as a complete shock.
Right. No, I agree. All three of us would be lying if we thought we'd be sitting here on March 4th talking about a 24-7 regular season, talking for an NCAA tournament, and fans just wanting them to play close to home. Not even worried about being on the bubble.
Right.
You see so many teams right now. Purdue, I think is in, but they're going to be sweating it out if they go out and maybe lose their first game in the Big Ten tournament. Guys, senior night, the speeches afterwards. It was kind of a cool moment there at the end, getting the 5 seniors on the floor for the final 22 seconds. Corey Barnett, Daniel Moore getting in the game. But overall, I thought the seniors played pretty well tonight as well. Riddle Jones and Roth had combined for 16 bench points. Tom Pritchard had a nice little lefty hook there in the second half.
Could have had a 3.
When Purdue was kind of close, and he did have to shoot a desperation 3, which literally probably would have sent this roof off, like Tom Crean was asking.
Or the one-handed jam, which he missed.
He had a couple almost highlights. So guys,
which is
again,
appropriate.
Verdell and Tom try to talk about after the game what the senior class means to IU. So you have experienced these last 4 years. Yes, from a talent standpoint, I don't think anybody's going to be playing in the NBA, but what have they mean, those 5 kids, to this program?
Not to throw out a Kentucky reference, but this is a lot like what Kentucky went through back in the heyday before they were starting to get back with Rick Pitino, with that group of 5 that stuck with that program, the same way that these IU kids have done. And for them to go out in this fashion, to be able to play into March, to be able to have the opportunity to sit there on Selection Sunday and pretty much scout out their opponent, knowing that they're going to be a heavy favorite in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I just think that just goes miles to what these kids have done for this program, and to be able to go out in this fashion. I don't think they would have ever thought it was possible. I don't think they would have ever, bet any money on it. But you look at what these guys have done, the way they've all adjusted into their new roles from what they've been through, as freshmen. And I think it's just really impressive, and it just adds even more to this story and the revival of IU basketball.
I think, not to throw out predictions because I'm awful at those, but I think this group of 5 is going to be remembered much longer than other senior classes have. And it's not necessarily going to be for their successes, but it's going to be because of their story.
Sticking with it.
Right, exactly. And, it's kind of like, granted, the winning this year has been a culmination of all that, and I think beaten pretty much to a pulp over the last week in various stories. But, it's just that I really don't think a lot of these fans are ever going to forget the 5 guys that stood on Branch McCracken court tonight and delivered some really good addresses, which, by the way, I want to get all 3 of us real quick. All right, best. Now, they were all great, but favorite senior address out of the 5. And why?
Corey Barnett's poem I thought was pretty good.
Break it down.
I really wish I could transcribe that.
It was
that
good.
was really good. Verdell Jones, I kind of like the little punchline here. I'm done talking right now. I'll wait till we get that 6 banner. Yeah, it's kind of bold, and it's probably not going to happen, but you never know. So for me, I'll go. I also thought Daniel Moore was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
Even the awkward moment where he gave his girlfriend a shot.
Yeah, that was awkward. That was good. I mean, all of them I thought were very
Yeah.
good, and it's kind of weird. And for us, Verdell is kind of a frequent guy that we get in terms of the media, but besides that, we really don't get Tom or Daniel or Corey or even Roth that much. So I thought for all 5 of them, that's got to be a nerve-wracking. But I was glad that this whole building really stayed for them because it really is special what they did.
I'm going to give it to Corey Barnett real quick.
Yeah.
Anytime you're, Division I athlete able to write a poem, and make it funny.
And he is getting married in August. So
We'll
wrap this up. It's getting to about 11 minutes. Shout out to the fan behind Connor and I tonight. I don't know if I didn't tell Connor this. He asked us before the game, I don't think Connor heard him, if we were part of the 3-man weave. I couldn't believe there's people actually out there that not only watch it, but then notice us too. So I kind of felt,
You stay
important.
classy.
Yeah, exactly. So for Avi Zalen, Connor O'Gara, I'm Kevin Bowen. Thanks, guys, for watching this regular season, and we will be up in Indy for however many days that we need to be up there. Again, IU plays 2:30 on Thursday against Penn State. Thanks, guys.
Seniors.
Can't wait.